So today I want to take a bit time to talk about an important topic that most of you need that are still watching YouTube and videos about trading is the way to make it in trading in 2025. I called this the dumber way, but it can be the beginner way. I mean, it's time for you to stop to watch stuff. It's time for you to actually be profitable. Why can't you make it? And there is a secret for this, and I love to use this guru word, the secret. But there is a secret, and this secret is annoying to hear, but it's the only way for you to make it. Okay, so let's start about this lecture that I propose you in a very clean way on Notion. It's so I told you the title here. Think about that all your life as a kid, you've been learning shit all the time, right? And now there are things in your life that is super obvious, right? You know how to jump with your feet, even with one foot. You know how to take the balance. You know how to drive a bike. You know how to maybe drive a car, and you were a bit older than this. But everything that you are knowing and you do without really figuring out how you should do, like shower, cleaning, anything like this, is because you did learn it by heart. You did learn it by repetition and repetition and repetition, right? So exactly like I say here, when you were a kid, you learn your multiplication tables by heart. Today, you don't even think twice about 2 times 2. It's 4. Right? So there is no doubt, no fear, because you know it. If you didn't read this book, it's actually a pretty cool book. So I took quote from either authors I like or books I like. But if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need to not fear the result of 100 battles. And this is so key. If you know yourself and if you know the market, okay, you need to not fear the result of 100 battles. Fear always springs from ignorance. And this is what I keep repeating even before I deleted. I actually didn't delete this channel because otherwise you couldn't see it. But I paused this YouTube channel and I hide it, right? I was having a lot of videos, and what I didn't know, when you hide for take a break of a YouTube channel, it takes off all the videos. So that's why I'm in starting zero. Is just the subscriber that stays. But I kept saying that you need to document and you need to backtest over and over again. So the simple fact of you failing on trading is because you don't do your diligence. You don't do the work. And as much as all the traders will want to bring you a new content, you don't need it. ICT can find you different mentorship for the year, different type of setup. It can be unicorn, it can be cheese, mozzarella. Another one can propose you a course about anything, the VWAP, the order flows, the whatever shit, the prop firm can propose you like a formation, you have plenty of shit that keeps you away from the real deal, which is you building data on the charts. You have one tool that most of you paid on TradingView, okay? And it's called the market charts, and you have the price, and you have the chance to have different time frames, right? And through these different time frames, what happens on price is that you have patterns. It doesn't matter which patterns, but some of it is different from others. Like maybe you see some patterns here where you could see a setup, and maybe it repeats every day. And if it repeats every day, you could document it, just a suggestion, screenshot it, and see if it works over time. Okay, don't ask me what is this lines, okay, and the bands. It is all about my algo and my strategy. Okay, so you have all the detail on my X if you want to. But you need to find something that repeats itself through your what? Through your imagination? Yes and no, but mostly through your vision. So when you observe the charts without anything at first, you blank, you are looking at things that repeats itself in the market. So maybe it's every day for you, maybe it will be monthly, maybe it will be daily. It doesn't matter. It could be on the 1 minute chart, but know something. If you are able to find patterns on the same time frame without you needing to change the time frame, it will be much easier to create data. When I mean data, it's basically you need repetition for your brain to understand that it works. And if you have any hesitation, psychological issues about trading, how to risk properly, or sometimes you gamble, the solution is simple. You don't have a problem. Let's write it here. You don't have a problem to fix inside of you, okay? Because that's what we think now. We think we need to meditate more. We think we need to pray more. We need to fast more. We need to discipline ourselves more, and so on and so on. The thing is that all these things are great, but it won't work if you don't know that your setup happens over repetition of time, over and over again. And you need to understand that, trading is the same like anything. It's not for nothing when you learn to drive that you have some hours of learning curves, and then you pass your license, your exam. Are you a good driver when you pass your exam? Most of us are not at the beginning. We need to get used to it by repetition, but we know the base. We know that there is a setup that works. We know how the clutch works. We know how the road rules works. Therefore, we can drive. It will not mean we are a good driver, but maybe over time, it will come better and better. And at some point, the road will have no secrets for you because you just learn how to drive and you experience how to drive, and now you enjoy and you're good at it. You can be more efficient and less stress. It's exactly the same here on trading, but it is what you don't do. You rather like to look for a strategy that someone will give you, and then you will try it out a bit, and if it works while you try it out for the next 2 hours, it will make you feel good. Oh, I found something, right? And through these 2 hours, you will feel a bit confident, and the day after you'll try it, and the confidence will be already lower because your brain doesn't understand that it's something works. It was just a dopamine kick you had on those 2 hours of trial, and you saw that something is working. But what your brain really needs is first screenshots of documentation of how the setup works. So you don't need to know if you lose first or how to lose, but you want to see the good setups. Is there good setups, patterns that works over time? And if yes, document over days. So if you look for 1-to-1, a minimum will be 100 samples. To 1-to-2 will be a minimum of 200 samples. But honestly, ideally, it will be as much as your brain understands it. So if, for example, and I do have guys in the community that needs more than 100, right? But if you, for example, do 100 samples on a 1-to-1 and you still feel that after the backtesting, the documenting, and you pass live trading, you feel still hesitant, is that your brain didn't get enough proof, even though you think you control it, but your brain knows better, right? You don't have enough proof for you to act in a matter of way that you will be chill, right? That everything makes sense and that there is no hesitation because you know it works on the past. So if you can get at least 1 year of data, but you should do as much as you can. And as a trader, you need to be passionate about what you're building. It's what you're seeing, it's your creation, it's not someone else. Yes, you can have base from traders, but at some point it's up to you to find out what's up. For example, right now, my trading strategy is very unconventional. It's even more dumb than what I used to do with pullbacks, really. And it works. It doesn't matter how it is, how it works. But if it works, and I know that it works all the time, and for example, for DAX, I have around 5 years of past data, it works, then it's fine. And I show this, for example, on my X. Every day I show the trades in advance, like I used to do in Discord. So I never stopped that, right? And now we even have a trading copier where people, they don't need to do shit, and I trade for them, right? So this is really where you need to forget the vision of money, because the vision of having a lot of money, or this visualization, all the positivity that we give you on YouTube, all these little tricks for make your psychology better, or even reading books, because I was into this too before, like trading in the zone and everything. It doesn't change shit, even though they tell you, you will never know the market. Really, so you need to be comfortable with the unknown and to accept the odds of things sometimes not being in your control, which is great in a way. But technically, you don't need to do that and to have that on trading, because you have all the tools now, mostly in 2025, thanks to TradingView, to have historical data, and that's the great thing. And if you don't have enough and you're like, oh, I don't have enough, well, put the replay button and you get more from the past normally. And if it doesn't work on Trade Nation, like here, you can go on FXCM. You can use basically the same, sorry about this, I will cough, the same asset, but in a different broker, and you'll get different historical data, comparatively speaking, right? So my broker doesn't have as much because they started in Trade Nation, started on TradingView not so long ago. But comparatively speaking, Forex.com most likely has more data to give me, okay? And if you don't find more data, you can, on TradingView, you can always go on MetaTrader 4. So this is so important. Let's say that what's important here is really not how you see the money, but how do you think you can get it. So a guy who gambles at the lottery, this lottery you can get even in the grocery shop, where now they even do the numbers for you. It's someone that hopes to get rich by surprise. So the whole idea he has of big money is a dream, because it's completely disconnected from reality. So he thinks that gambling might give him these things. But the probability, the chance is so low about it, right? Then you have another guy who is a thief because he decided to steal wealth from others because it's easier, right, to get it, because others work to have it, and so let's just take it from them. So it still does an action, a repetition action, okay, and there is a result coming. So he has a higher chance, higher probability than the lottery guy to get something like big money, but the risk of a negative outcome is very big, okay? And then you have an employee that works hard to get a promotion over time and still do a repetition every day to show up in this company, to help to work over and over again, then has a higher chance of success because it requires more time and more repetition, which means that action equals a result. And trading is no different. When you train yourself with real data, when you document your patterns over and over, you are programming your brain at the action level. And this is no new age things, it's just proper work that you should know how to do. The problem is that we become much and much lazy now with time due to our assisted environment through the technology. And we know it, right? Even though we say, oh yeah, poor kids, the young ones, they are influenceable, they have a short span attention and stuff. Well, we use the same tool as them. And most of the time when we are tired, at best, we are falling for this short span attention algorithm. And even a video like mine, is completely at the antipode of what YouTube wants. YouTube wants you to make a nice hook at the beginning to catch you on the first 15 seconds, because they know that this video will take views, and we need good creators to catch the attention from the beginning, because it's so hard right now to get the attention of someone, because we are so unfocused and so not able to work properly nowadays, and it's a very sad thing. It's quite shit. We are like quite weak in some way. And that's where all the consummation that you are doing on YouTube is useless because it keeps you away from the real work of doing this again and again and again. So how would look, for example, a documentation? I think I have an example here that I was showing for someone. Let me check. That's on the here, exactly. So, for example, me, I will take every day, and record. So I have my grids normally. So that's why you can see it now because I have an indicator for it. And I see the documentation of what's happening every single day on the good side. I don't care of the losing days because the losing days I will know when I backtest, right? So it's all about documenting, making an encyclopedia, quote unquote, of setups that can repeat itself, of patterns that you have seen. Right? And then you need to document it. So you can use for something like Notion. For example, I have documentation here. Then you have a backtest that is another documentation. Also, I go very quickly on this one also, but you see it is all data and data and data. And this is just EuroUSD. But on my other Notion, I have the DAX. And for example, I have much more data into this that gives me a strong confidence that this works no matter what. Yeah. Okay. So you are programming your brain to the action level, and each good action, well executed, will eventually bring you more money. So I don't want to tell you each steps of how you can do it. I basically tell you document your shit. It's about screenshotting again and again and again. Put data on an Excel sheet, on a Notion sheet, whatever it happens, you can do it. Right? And you want to connect the dots of what you are seeing. You need to be a creator. And a creator, a good entrepreneur, doesn't come from flowers. It's not like you will grow from a soil and just happen to be a good flower and be the most expensive flower, right? No, here we need to work the shit out. You need to be inventive, you need to be creative, and you need to repeat your work. The nice thing with trading is that you don't need to market yourself, you don't need to study too much the concurrence, because it's about you and only you. You are the employee, the boss, and everything. You are in charge of everything. So the only thing you need to do is like a dumbass, going through all the day for many, many, many years, and until your brain understands, okay, this works, I can execute this without thinking and make actual money. Okay? Because now you earned it through a repeatable process, not a lucky shot. So some other quotes to remember. James Clear, Atomic Habits. I really strongly advise you this book. It's really good. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the levels of your systems. Okay, very, very relevant. Dreams don't work unless you do. Secret. Like the new age things or the new trends is about making us dream. It's about pump you over some seconds, like feeling motivated and give you some dopamine. But it's just you need repetition. And then Albert Einstein says the only source of knowledge is experience. So then you'll tell me, well, I'm a dumb, I'm noob, I'm a beginner in trading. And the best way for you to build experience, it's through not trading first and just studying the historical charts. Copy them, print them, no matter, it doesn't matter. Why you will need to print them, for example, or keep them on the side somewhere, even if you will not look at it, is for you to know in any moment of hesitation that you did all the work. And when you check it, you see that it's working. And that you can, sometime in moment of hesitation, of tiredness, you can spend some time to look at your encyclopedia and see that everything works. And then things will flow. For example, if we go on my X, so it's loading a little, I share all my trades beforehand, before I take it. While I take it, I talk about it, anything, right? And this is, I'm just doing nothing because first it's automated now, but it was thanks to the data I was able to automate it with someone, right? But it's, even if I will do it manually, it just flows. And of course, internet is loading like crazy. So whatever. But what I wanted to show you is that my trades doesn't change. They are all always the same rules are followed, and nothing is bothering me, even though I get wicked like today, because I know that through time, through history, I'm supported through good news that it is profitable. And now I'm piling up the profitable month. For example, I just did a post because my copy trading is open for the next 3 days, because I open only on beginning of the month. And you see, January it was profitable, February too, March too, April too. Each of this month are first documentation that I can add like a geek to my collection, because you want to be a collectioner, you want to be really someone that is geeking about all this data. And then it's another proof and another proof and another proof. And my brain doesn't want to FOMO, doesn't want to strategy hopping, doesn't want to do all that shit, because I know that this works in present, it worked in past, I tried it. And the more I go far into the past data, the better I understand that this is a long-term thing that works over and over again. A lot of strategy works for some time and sometimes don't work in some condition. But when you find a grail like this, like, people talk about Holy Grail, but when you find something that really resonates with you and that really works for you, and it moreover works in any condition, this is where you want to keep it, and you want to cherish it, and you want to build it in a way and grow with it. And that's exactly what you should do. Okay? My daughter is starting to scream. So now she most likely woke up, and I will tell you goodbye, and I hope this lecture was helpful for you. Bye-bye.